Fiery Inferno. Good morning. Saturday, November 16th, 2024. Fiery Inferno instead of Shadim Shuri Green Paradise. That's what we got this week. Let's start out with the VIX, something that I haven't talked about in a while and is worth bringing back. This right here skew everything in the chart. So let's move away from that. There you go. We came down to basically 3 months low, and I think I did talk about the VIX last week, so it has not been too long. Memory, that's what happened when you get old. So it came down, and woof, that's pretty nasty, but still, that's not that nasty on the grand scheme of things. When it starts to get to that level right there, then we talk nasty. Okay, so not quite, but certainly it did reach a level that I would consider a little bit concerned. All right, BTC looking good. First it went to a key level, that white line, and then it buzzed through, test the fib, went through the fib, and retrace. There you go. Close it. Test it again. Test it again. But this time, finish on the high note, right under the fib. I'm not trimming. Okay, I have not trimmed. I'm staying greedy. In fact, I took out the order to trim up here. I took out the order to trim here, and I will let it run. When I say trim, it's not my Bitcoin I'm trimming. It's the IBIT, the ETF. I don't plan to. I'm holding on to my Bitcoin through thick and thin. The only thing I did was add to it a while back. So for now, I'm waiting for 96.6. I had a trim order up there, but I took it out and put it up here in the 102 range, right? So for now, that's the plan on BTC. Certainly have been a big savior to my portfolio. Woo! Ugly year for the other part of the portfolio, that's for sure. Let's go real quick. Ethereum, bigger retracement. It came up. I was looking up here. I was looking to trim my Ethereum ETF up there. I figured that would be a tough area, and now it retraced and it did almost fill the gap. Technically, it almost did. Okay, not quite, but it came down to key support 200 MA, bounce and sit on the fib. My allergy is in overdrive this morning, so pardon the nasal sound. And to me, it's not really a surprise, because usually, if you follow Bitcoin long enough, when Bitcoin is strong, there is a weakness or weaker performance of the altcoin, as I call it, alternative coin, whatever, from Solana, Cardano. The only one that have been doing better than most altcoin is Doge because of Elon Musk. But for now, not bad. All right. Hey, can't complain, especially when it was sitting in the 2,500 range for 3 months, right? So we are literally 20% higher for now. All right. TLT, ugly, ugly. It's been ugly for 2 weeks. Ever since, even before the election, almost a round triple. I mean, it's TLT is no doubt have been a disappointment because of the way, well, the way econ data has not panned out, the way those that believe, and I am in the camp of believe that we are heading into a recession. I mean, it literally are flat year over year. All right, so if you look back, you can see flat year over year. So uh, if 35 to 40% of my portfolio is in an asset that is literally flat, if you factor in maybe 3% income, then it certainly can't be good for the entire portfolio. But it is what it is. All right. For now, all I can say is it came down to the fib. It's sitting around ref low. Okay, ref low is basically here. The worst ref low is of course the bottom right there. Not to say that it can't happen. Let's go back 3 years. Yeah, it's ugly. It came down to that level. Now the ultimate crazy low is of course last October when it was down there. Yeah, that's nutty. Okay, that's absolutely nutty. But it is what it is for now. My advice for those that have TLT is be patient until January because I really don't see the narrative flip until January, and then all of a sudden you're gonna see all kind of terrible data. Jobless claim gonna spike, unemployment rate is gonna spike, you name it. All kind of stuff is just gonna go terrible, and then the narrative that the Fed doesn't have to cut because the economy is strong or stays strong and all that nonsense, that's gonna completely flip next year. 6 months later than what we thought this year. We thought for sure, by October, November, things will go into complete hell in a basket. Listen, before I move on, in the history of this country, going back to modern day, by modern day I mean from the 60s, no president, no incumbent president or incumbent party has kept the White House when the economy is bad. Because ultimately, people vote for change when they are hurting. Just go back. For those that are reluctant or don't care to study history, just go back and see what happened to every president that have a bad economy. Carter, Bush, you name it. Just go back and look. The voters, if you pay attention to even mainstream media that say, oh my God, Harris lost and people was complaining about the economy and inflation. How can that be? Job was great, resilient. Unemployment rate near all-time low. Joe Biden say that we are stronger today than ever. It's they had to disconnect. Whatever Mr. Powell, the White House are saying about the economy is not reality. The voter is telling you the reality of how tough things are. So as frustrating it is for those that understand economy, it's insanity as far as what's going on with the numbers. Okay, it makes no sense, complete nonsense. And but nothing I can do about that. All right, I just had to be patient until January. All right, let's move on. Dia, oh boy, oh boy. All I can say is that election bump was crazy. Um, I got out of a lot of position. I also got into a lot of position, but there was no chasing. There was no chasing green. That's all I can tell you. All right. I am. Let me also remind people the simple buy red, sell green. Buy on red, sell on green. There will be time that you can buy on green, and there's a book by one of the CNBC guy that on CNBC Daily. I think the title of the book is "Buy High, Sell Higher." There will be time for that when there is real growth. When we're going through a booming economy, booming stock market, that's when you want to buy into green, sell higher. There will be time. This is not right now. Is there will be blood. There will be blood if you buy on green. Okay, there will be blood because we are not in a strong economy, in a strong bull market. Whatever this market is, I don't know what you call it, but yeah. Hey, if you short, congratulations. Okay, I have been fail. I have failed for the last month trying to put on any kind of short spread. I try. Trust me, I try. Not the order trigger. For whatever reason, I keep putting in the wrong price. But as far as Dia, this market has a long way to crash, right? If this is the beginning of a crash, oh my goodness, we got a long way to go. Dia literally have another, was it would be 10 point. No, actually no, it's 1% away from the 20, right? And you're talking 2%. That's not that's not that much. 2% to, if it's like 2.5%, it will fill the gap. So it won't take much. So I take that back. It doesn't have to come down that much to fill the gap. Okay, so for me, that can happen. QQQ, nasty. It's worse. QQQ is worse than it's lower than the gap up. All right, so has it filled the gap? That's the question. No, not yet. It's almost filled the gap. For me, QQQ, no touch. Right? I don't have any QQQ. I sold it. I sold it back here. I have a small exposure in QQQ and I sold it back there. So for me, if you want to own QQQ, maybe 481-ish, right? That's kind of lined up with RevLow and the 100 MA that's coming up. So there you go. But yeah, it's I bought those QQQ back here, the few share QQQ that I have, and I held it for basically 2 months, and I got out up there, like 498-ish, I think. But yeah, it not quite filled the gap. SPY came down to the 20, to the fib, and bounced. Okay, now actually, now that I did this, it's time to flip. Okay, remove. Fib retracement. Here we go. There's gonna be a lot of flipping as far as flip extension to flip retracement. There will be. All right, so here we go. The next fib actually line up pretty nicely with the 50 MA. So if you want to buy SPY, that could be one. But I would, for now, that would be one spot. For me, I would rather be patient and perhaps buy at ref low, lining up with the channel high right there, 568-ish, right? That's would be more likely. In fact, I'm gonna put in an alert right there. Create alert. Buy the dip. There you go. And that would be roughly a 4% retracement, roughly, from the high. Let's go back to QQQ. We need to do a flip, a fib, a fibs flip. Yeah, no, well, we don't have to do a flip, but we had to do a recalibration because it came down. So let's remove this fib and do a retracement with the proper high right there. Okay. Last one, IWM. No doubt, if you own small cap and I own a ton of biotech, you feel more pain. And so, yeah, it came down harsh. It tested the trend. If you're a trading channel, right? Look, let's go back 3 years. Okay, I talked about this. You can't ignore TA. I talked about this last week, last Saturday. I talked about it, and well, it happened. Okay, it happens. So, not a shocking surprise. Would I buy? Not that I will, but for those that want to do IWM, I said maybe the 50. Okay, the 50 was a support once, twice, 3 times the lady. All right, Max 7, crazy Tesla. All right, talked about this last week. Crazy election bump, but yeah, I wouldn't touch it here. Okay, if you had it and you didn't trim, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Right? It's let's go back 3 years. Was this some kind of random spot? Not really. It's a ref high, right there, right? So let TA be your guide, especially on hot, super hot stuff. Okay, it's can't be too greedy. Literally, you gave up $40 from the high. So, all right. Hopefully, lessons learned. Yeah, is $40 worth being that greedy, especially when it was $100 plus below just before the election? That's insane for a big stock like Tesla to jump 30%. Insane. insane. Google, I have ordered to trim more. It was so close, okay, so close. Um, but now it came down here, and I'm watching closely. I want to set a stop. I raise my stop, but it is still higher than this spot right here. Okay, depending on what it's doing next week, I might raise my stop into the. For now, my stop is 168, but I'm tempted to move it into the low 170s because as bullish as I have been going back to June through the election, I do think the the bull run in Google is behind it. Um, the ad money is not going to be the same, right? The ad money that Google got so much the last 2 quarters is gonna go poof, poof after election. And I don't think corporate spending on advertising is gonna be picking up given how weak the economy is. So I'm not. It's no longer my favorite Max 7. Okay, no longer. It's off the list. I would buy it here if it get anywhere. I would change my sell order. See, I have a trim order here right at the fib. I'm changing that to ref high, 182, just below ref high. Okay, so I probably do it with 182 because the last time I got there, didn't do it. So no, I'm not gonna waste. I did trim here. 181 something was my trim price, and I'm glad I did. And then I put in another trim order up at the fib, and that never got there. So I'm gonna move that down to 180, 182 for now, and I might even sell some at 177. So yeah, it's time to scale out of Google. Meta, ooh, I'm actually at the lowest order, the lowest position of Meta that I have in a long time. So I'm okay with holding the rest here. I'm okay. I'm not. I don't have a stop in because um, this is the same amount of Meta share I have here. Okay, I trim on this pop, and then over the past 8 9 months, I have been buying the dip, selling, buying the dip, adding, trim, 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 trim. So yeah, so I'm at the point where I am at the same amount of share as I have right here. So I am cool with that. It's a good exposure to have with Meta. Microsoft. Um, I have not done much with Microsoft. I trim a little bit on this move up here. I did not add down here. Um, or maybe I did. Maybe I did. I can't remember. Um, but for now, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Would I add down here? The answer is yes. If I didn't do it here, I will remember to put in an order to buy at 405. Okay, I would do it 405. Would I trim at 440? 44. I think I have an order in to trim at 444, the fib. Been sitting there for quite some time because it never got there. But yeah, I don't hate Microsoft. I like it more. It was number 2 behind Google, so right now it might be number 1. Amazon, yeah, we're doing the flip here. Not the flip, not the flip, but we are going to. Let's see what we're. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We move this drawing, and we're gonna do this fib with a new high. Going forward, if I remember to do it, I should do it on every chart that I think should change to fib. Okay, so we all should do it. Amazon. Would I buy Amazon at the 20? We have a holiday season coming up. Is it me? Or, usually by mid-November, even before, usually, even like starting November, right after Halloween, you start to see a deluge of holiday promotion, advertising, all that stuff. But maybe because of the election, that more focus was put on that until now. But even now, a week after the election, I don't see a whole lot of promotional stuff everywhere I go. Not that I go a lot, so let me know if you are more observant and do more things outside the public, but I just don't see that going on. So maybe Christmas shopping won't be so hot this year, so Amazon won't be booming. I don't know. Okay, so for me, I wouldn't buy Amazon here. But if you want to, maybe the 20. The gap fill is lining up nicely with the 50. I'm more inclined to buy Amazon at the gap fill. All right. So if it come down to 191, 191 ish, then I get excited. Okay, because then you're talking about a 10% plus retracement on Amazon from the high. Apple, there's nothing here to be excited. I don't care. Like I said, whatever, right? It's consolidating, converging here. I just don't know what to say there. Not for me. Netflix. Wow. Okay. Wow. 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 Yeah, it's definitely. I don't hate it. Don't love it. Wish I have it. But yeah, it's no chasing here. There's no chasing going on here. Okay, let it be. Miss it. See ya. Last one, Nvidia. I think it's time. I think it's time. I really do. I do think it's time to take it out. As far as, let me remove this drawing right here. Remove. Okay. Where do we start this move? Let's do it here. Let's flip, change this into 149.77. There you go. There's a new fib. I do think the high is in for Nvidia. I did trim. I have been debating for a week on what to do with the stop, right? Right now, my stop is way down here. Would I move it higher? Maybe to the fib at 135. I might move it, but yeah, it's I have been trimming, so it's not up. It's no longer that big of a position, not a big deal. But I do think the top is in for Nvidia. I do think the top is in for Max 7, not just Nvidia. So let me make it clear. Okay, it's not the area where I think it's going to be strength. So I'm not a buyer here. Certainly looking to trim, looking to make sure I locked in my gain. All right, let's move into OTEC. I did blow out of my Adobe here, 531 on Thursday. I said I had a lot of position that's going to be assigned, and I want to show up my cash. And from the election until here, I had 20 share of Adobe, 20 share, 5 figures plus. Okay, so 10,000, 11,000. No, that is good cash that can be used somewhere else, and I'm glad I did. That's one of the right move that I made. I got out of that to use the cash for something else, and I will show you where I put that money. So for now, I'm out of Adobe. It was tempting. It was tempting to buy those shares back at below 500. Trust me, it was extremely tempting. And depend on how things settle down, and the dust settle, I might do something with puts down here. Okay, 485, 482 and a half put spread, tight spread down here is pretty much a no-brainer to do, right? Which I neglect to do that yesterday. If I was, I kind of took my eye. I sold and Adobe, and then I took my eyes off yesterday. It was not on my purview at all yesterday. IBM, what's going on? Getting interesting. Getting interesting. The 100 MA, it's here. Kind of line up with Reflow, so I like IBM. If I was to pick IBM or Adobe, ooh, toss up. Okay, it'd be a flip of a coin, because to me, I like them both. I like them both, and they both at a level of support. So pick your pick. All right, buy both. You know, Adobe at 500, IBM here. Yeah, as always, you heard me talk about this before. If you think a stock that you like that is running hot, that's not gonna see the 100 or even the 200, think again. Think again. Okay. Is IBM? Was it logical for IBM to run up here? No, not at all. I like it here. You know where I like it a lot more? Down here. The 61.8, the golden fib, is lining up nicely with the 200 moving average. That's okay. So if I were to write put 190, 185 put spread, if there is juice down there, but on a big pullback, certainly I don't mind adding a few share here. Certainly not a few share at 200, right? But if that failed to hold, we can see 191 in a hurry, and or the 200, wherever the 200 is going to be going forward, that's the spot to buy big. Okay, I like IBM down there. Cisco, it met the channel high and say no. Would I buy Cisco? No. Would I buy Cisco gap fill? No. Would I buy? For me, I don't want to chase Cisco. Let me repeat this. This run was on cost cutting. No. Their guidance, the earning was not like, oh, we're no. It's no. Come on. No. CRM, I did trim. Whew, that was nasty. That was nasty. And guess what? We are redoing the fib. Okay, we are removing this flip. We're flipping this thing. Let's do this retracement. There you go. I have trimmed enough CRM that I am back to the core few share that I have that I don't mind holding on to. Would I buy into CRM? I have been a big fan of CRM with the whole AI move. Okay, so it no secret I like CRM even more than Adobe when it comes down to AI. But um, no, would I buy those shares that I trim back down here? Maybe, for sure, at the 50, yes. Okay, but for now, no rush, no rush. I like the fact that the 100 is down here, potentially a channel low, right? Because this is the channel right here. The channel, low, high, low, low, high, bust through. This can get back in the channel. If it get to the 20, watch out. It better hold at the 20. Otherwise, we can come all the way down. Okay. Let's move away from old tech into healthcare. Got beat up hard. As in the Boston accent, hard. He got beat up hard. It is so crazy. Okay, I all I can say is I'm kind of glad there's plenty of good and bad with AbbVie. Okay, plenty of good and bad with all major. Okay, it's certainly Bobby Kennedy appointee is scaring the market. The dust will settle. Okay, Bobby is very probably the toughest person that they can put in the history of the last many elections. If you go back the last 20 plus years, big pharma has always at the crosshair of every election. All right, because it is a easy target for politicians to bring up in order to get votes. Just like Social Security, okay? You heard endlessly, even this election, there have been people, I've seen advertisement of people talking about how voting for Trump will hurt Social Security. Yeah, like I said, Social Security, pharma has always been used in every election as a scapegoat or used as a reason not to vote for somebody because they will take away your social security or cut your whatever. It's all nonsense. That never gonna happen. Now, all that being said, Bobby Kennedy is the toughest person that you can put uh, on top of healthcare. The toughest. There is no one tougher, right? Um, so the fear is warranted. Um, that's where I got it wrong. So I own this, and I will say this: if I use my brain a month ago when I was confident that Trump is going to win the election, I would have lessened my exposure here. So my bad. I own it. All right. So I have been on the belief that Trump is going to win the election for a long time, even more confident a month ago. That's when I should say, especially, sure, I was confident that Trump is going to win the election, but when Bobby Kennedy put his support for Trump, that should have been the warning that I should have taken more seriously, period. Stop right there. Right. So that's my bad. My bad for ignoring the obvious that could have saved my portfolio a whole lot of 2% down. The entire portfolio took a 2% hit because the exposure in healthcare, it hurts. I own it, right? So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know, there is when it comes down to the stock market, there is fundamental, there is technical, and then there's political. And the one thing that it's extremely difficult to deal with is political. Okay, I mean it's very hard. Okay, and that's why big pharma got this. It's ugly. Now, all that being said, I did buy a few shares, not a lot, a few. I did have a put spread at 167.5, 165. I roll it going out 2 weeks for credit, 162.5, 157.5. Yeah, way down there, right? So we'll see how it goes. But I roll it down to November 29th. Would I add to FV buying share? Yes, down here at the fib. I have an order in at 163.3. Okay, so ugly, ugly. Needless to say, yeah, Reflow, Eli Lilly. All right, so I might. All right, so where else can I go? Unthinkable, but I do think it is worth. I think here's my take. If you are to buy into these beat up big pharma, be prepared that it could take. It can be volatile, right? We don't know. Okay, we don't know what is gonna happen. I like AbbVie more than even Eli Lilly, more than say someone that make more of the kind of drug that lifestyle drugs are not the kind of thing that, even though Eli Lilly is in the weight loss drug, the diabetes drugs is all of a sudden on a target, even though their production is now fully up. Okay, there's no shortage. The shortage of Eli Lilly or Novo Nordisk is no longer there. They are expanding and plenty. Okay, there's no like waiting list to get the drug. But even the lifestyle drug are getting beat up. My advice is if you are to buy into them, be prepared to have to deal with the political beating for the next 4 years. I'm not saying that they're going to be dead money the next 4 years, but it's not going to be easy, right? Sure, phase 2, phase 3, phase 1, good news is always going to bring good news for the stock. So there will be plenty of opportunities to take profit in those, in any one of them, when they come out with good news. Okay, because that's just the way the market is. But this next 4 years could be the toughest battle for the pharma business because Bobby is tough. Okay, make no mistake, he hates pharma, he hates vaccine, and he's not going to be easy on them. Okay. Vertex, I bought a few. And I have more order down here. I think my order is like 453, and then I have more order at 448 at the Reflow. So that painkiller drugs is what I am buying for the pop. Okay, and same thing here. No surprise there, right? JSK, wow, insane. It's okay. What can I say? But it's back to the scene of the crime. That is a good buy. I am looking to add. Okay, I have 100 shares. It's a cheap stock. this is one of the many reasons that I blow out of my Oracle position, because I can easily buy 300 shares with the money here. Okay, so I don't hate JSK here. Okay, I like JSK, but unfortunately, just like all the rest of the big pharma, it is caught in the political situation, and it is what it is, right? I can go on and on. I'm gonna stop right here on big pharma or pharma, because every chart will look the same. It's ugly. Okay, I don't need to beat myself up or the viewer up. You know, if you own them, you know. Okay, it is what it is. On good news, on good phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3 news in the pop, trim some. That's my advice. Okay, move your money somewhere else, because the next 4 years can be very frustrating. So I plan to lighten my exposure in big pharma for sure. I got way too heavy in them because I want to be away from the economic sensitive sectors. Bad move. It's not a bad move, but it was a bad move to not pivot away from it when Bobby threw his support to Trump. That was a bad move, okay? So on me, I own it. All right, let's move away from that sector that is just plain ugly across the board, right? Let's talk banks. Oh, banks. Oops. Goldman Sachs. The one good news about banks, which I think helped them stay high, is merger and acquisition. Because one of the things that under Trump is going to change, if you notice, under Biden, there was a lot of merger and acquisition that got rejected because they are anti-big business. Trump is going to let loose. Trump is going to will bring in a person that will completely be a flip from the previous head of the department that oversee, antitrust. So this is the area that I think the financial are strong, because you're going to see a deluge of acquisition. Deluge. And the Goldman Sachs are staying strong because of that. Same thing with the Morgan Stanley. Yeah. Same thing with the JP Morgan. Yeah. Do I need to do any more chart to prove it? All right. This is not about anything else, but the narrative that the merger and acquisition game is going to go crazy is in. All right. That I can guarantee you, the merger and acquisition department of all these big banks are hopping and popping. I wouldn't be chasing them here, but on pullback into the low of the gap up, yeah, right, across the board. My top pick is, of course, always Goldman Sachs. Anything into the 565, yeah, I say yes. All right, so TD, I am out, but I will be back in. Okay, I got in, I got out. I'm looking to get back in. That's one cheap banks right there. Visa, I don't hate, but I'm out. I'm out. Right? Would I buy at the? I will be patient. Okay, 20 MA gap fill, yes, but for now I'm out. The regional has been strong, surprisingly, right? It's bizarre how the regional got beat up so badly with bonds, but all forgotten. Who cares? TOT bonds yield. Who cares? A year ago, it hurt us, almost bankrupt some banks, but same TLT is the same as it was a year ago. Who cares? Crazy. I'm telling you, sometimes things cannot be explained, and KRE is one of them. All right, cannot be explained. The same reason that they were so weak a year ago, all of a sudden, not a big deal. Everything's good. Crazy. All right, let's go gold. Let's wrapping up here. Gold. I like gold here. I am buying big into GDX. Right. Finally into GDX. I'm in. But gold. Everything is, yeah. What can I say? Right. Gold. I like gold here. I don't know. I don't want to have words to explain, but I understand why gold is down. Very similar to TLT, right? But the one area that make gold kind of wacky is, the narrative that it's inflation. So it run hot on inflation, and right now the narrative is inflation is raging back. All gonna come back really hard because Trump policy is gonna bring inflation back. Oh, it's crazy. Okay, but GDX, yeah, it came down to the 200. Yeah, come on. I got I sold 38, 37 and a half, even 35 put. So the 35 put is not going to get assigned, but there will be a whole lot of GDX coming into my portfolio today. A whole lot. Okay, I'm gonna go from having 200 shares to 800 shares. Yeah, it's big. I have not owned this many GDX since here. All right, so it's been a while. It's been 3 months since I owned this much GDX. So giddy up. I start to buy a lot of GDX down here. It's been a nice trade. So yeah, it's time. Okay, it's time. Last before I go, USO. Yeah, it's if I were to do anything with USO, it's gonna be put way down here, 66. Right? I'm not doing even 69. Drill, baby drill, cannot be good. Cannot be good. Okay. Now the one stock that surprised me, CVX. What the heck? What's going on here? What is going on here? I don't know. I cannot explain why CVX is so strong. Okay, so if you have it, get out. XOM, not as crazy, but still high. If oil is below 70 or selling in the 70, do you think it's the same profit as they can get it in the 80s? The answer should be no. Oxy behave more logical compared to CVX, all right? So I don't know what's going on with CVX here. I literally don't know. Okay, maybe the merger acquisition that they bought something. I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to be in it. But Oxy, no. Last LNG, woof, hot, 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 still hot. If you have it, I would say it's time to go. Okay, it's time to go. I am out of CTRA. Right, CTRA. I took this pop to say, get me out. I'm glad I suffered the pain down here, and I exit with a slight profit. Oh, crazy! It's crazy to. I first bought some here, and I bought some here. I bought some here, and I got out with a slight profit. So I'm out. That's it. Thank you for watching. Later.